I didn't expect it to be unsatisfactory. Boy's tracheal tumor has a branch of the aorta. If the tumor is removed by endoscopic surgery, it's bound to bleed. In desperation, Sean can only terminate the surgery. In the conference room, Sean racked his brain. Still can't think of it. The medical logic, I could convince a woman to have surgery first, but my colleagues came up with a non-medical solution. He contacted the woman's brother. After learning about my sister's situation, my brother came as soon as possible. He pulled out his 90-day sobriety badge. He said, I had changed for the better. I can't take care of you and the baby. When a woman is finally relieved, he finally agreed to the surgery first. The surgery was a great success. What makes women even happier? He and his brother have finally made up. The mother begged the doctor.
Is not perfect, but sometimes we need people who aren't perfect.
Pray to see your newborn baby. A small request was ruthlessly rejected by the doctor, and the handcuffs on his wrists are particularly conspicuous. Original. He was convicted of killing his first child with refrigerant, sentenced to life imprisonment. Now he is closely monitored by the police. Even if the doctors wanted him to see the baby, can't do anything. Not to mention, the doctor looked at him with contempt in his eyes. But the sins he committed, but it was imposed on the child by God. Babies are born with hypotony. This is due to severe malnutrition. The doctor has pity on this innocent little guy. Sneaked the baby into the ward. I want to supplement his nutrition through breast milk. Result: a kindness smile appeared on the face of the child and the woman. Little did I know that the doctor's kindness will almost kill the little guy. Not long after breastfeeding, the baby started vomiting and turning blue, a sharp decrease in the oxygen index, and so on. Symptoms and subsequent test results are even more alarming. Refrigerant found in baby's blood. How crazy! To keep him even under police surveillance. Also go to great lengths to bring in the refrigerant. Kill your own child. And not only that, the doctor also found that conventional treatment has no effect on the baby. This shows that this vicious woman. What else have you done to children? To find out the cause, doctors are resorting to inhumane practices. The woman was injected with a narcotic mixture. This allows a woman to speak out about what he has done.
Do you know what happened to your babies?
They got sick.
Do you know why they got sick?
Because I'm a bad mother.
Because you gave them antifreeze.
Because I couldn't protect them.
Did you kill your first baby?
I could never hurt my babies. I'm their mommy.
This confused the doctors. Is anesthesia not working? Sean then took the baby's blood components. Compared with refrigerant, the results are still a perfect match. And suddenly, something hit Sean. He asked his colleagues to zoom in on the data infinitely. Sure enough, found 2 ingredients. There are very subtle molecular differences. This is not antifreeze, it's propionic acid. Propionic acid is produced by the body. If the body also happens to be affected, effects of methylmalonic acidemia, then the disease will be inherited. His firstborn probably also had the disease. The protein in breast milk promotes the production of acid.
She is innocent.
Found the cause. Through treatment, the baby soon recovered to health, and doctors have promised to help women testifying court. A man covered in blood was rushed to the hospital. The gum exploded in his mouth, causing severe facial injuries. The doctor immediately thought of the perfect surgery prescription. The man's face was reconstructed through 3 surgeries. The first 2 surgeries repair his damaged airway and fractured frontal bone. The third surgery is the most complex orbital fracture. Prosthesis, polyether ether ketone resin needs to be implanted as a filler. I didn't expect this perfect treatment plan was stopped by the boss. The reason is that the material of polyether ether ketone resin, it is not covered by insurance. Hospitals don't pay for expensive materials. Yes, if the polyether ether ketone tire is not used, there will be vision defects in the future and will never be able to eat solid food.
It's unfortunate.
In desperation, doctors can only do airway repairs on men first. Just at this moment, an intern had an idea. He proposes 3 surgeries can be combined into 2 surgeries. Although the surgery will be more risky, but it would save nearly $90,000. Can use this money to pay for the macromethadone implant as long as the total cost of surgery remains the same. The boss won't have any opinion, but it didn't work out. After airway repair, the man went into hemorrhagic shock. His wound is infected, then you can't risk cooperation now. It's a pity. He will only be able to eat through a straw from now on. Sean goes into the break room to get dressed for surgery, but I feel itchy shoulders. He reaches for it. Suddenly he thought of something. Drawings of the human body came to Sean's mind. He's found a way to do both. He comes into the operating room, and here's the thing.
Scalpel. Also, we can create an osteomyocutaneous flap, so we will need the customized PEK implants. It should be strong enough to allow him to have full vision function and eat normally.
The insurance will be fully reimbursed.
That's pretty brilliant.
Finally, with the successful implantation of the myocutaneous flap, the doctors also smiled happily. The girl suddenly vomited a pile of blood. Doctors rushed into the ward within a second. After examination, the girl's large intestine was perforated, critical, and the culprit behind all this, the father who loved her the most. A couple of hours ago, father and daughter arrived at the hospital. Father claims, "My daughter has been nausea and vomiting for 8 years," and confidently stated that the daughter must have an internal organ disease. Sean explained that visceral disease doesn't match his symptoms. Subsequent in-depth inspection, the girl was found to have a severe intestinal obstruction. The surgery was arranged for the girl immediately when the obstruction is removed, but unexpectedly found that the girl's colon was a little weak. Just to be on the safe side, I took a sample and tested it, but the test results surprised everyone. It's a visceral disease. Gut problems in girls. It turns out that 8 years, the man has been studying the cause of his daughter's illness. He sleeps 3 hours a day. The rest of the time, all for learning medical knowledge related to daughter's disease.
My dad's the best doctor I've seen.
Hospitals are an exception, involving men in the discussion of treatment options for girls. Unexpectedly, it killed the girl. Sean recommends a right hemicolectomy for treatment, but the man heard that he was going to cut off half of his daughter's large intestine, but strongly opposed. He proposed the drug rituximab to improve the survival rate of the intestines.
Bad idea. She could have a severe infusion reaction, cause more damage, leading to a much more drastic surgery later.
I didn't expect the director to agree to the man's plan.
It's a reasonable option.
No, my idea was better.
But the patient's father is not going to approve either of our ideas.
In desperation, Sean can only administer medication to girls, even if Sean does it over and over again, highlighting the most likely risks, but the girl still chooses to believe in her father. Not surprisingly, sure enough, there was an accident not long after using the drug. The girl suddenly vomited a lot of blood. She had an intestinal perforation. She was dying. The father finally realized that he was wrong. He wants doctors to execute the surgical plan Sean mentioned earlier, but it's too late. The entire large intestine must now be removed, and part of the small intestine only so to overcome the stress of future obstruction. But girls can support themselves for the rest of their lives. Men don't give up, still emphasizing over and over again, there must be a way to relieve stress. Sean finally broke out.
He made us give her rituximab, and it made her sicker. Why are you even here? You are not a doctor!
The director saw that Sean was out of control. He directly kicked Sean out of the surgery. Looking at my daughter on the operating table, the man finally shed tears of regret, and Sean was sitting in the lounge absent-minded, reverberating in my mind over and over again what the girl's father said. He doesn't think for no reason. It's called stress relief. There must be some principle that works. Pictures of the structure of the intestines came to Sean's mind. Suddenly, he figured out that girls don't have to have their intestines removed. He rushed to the operating room as fast as he could. In the operating room, the doctor has removed the girl's large intestine. Prepare for excision.
Hey! Have you ligated any critical vessels?
We're just about to.
That is good. You need to insert a PEC tube to the colon.
Pressure valve for emergencies. It'll keep her GI tract viable.
A few hours later, girl wakes up from hospital bed. The surgery was a success.
Dr. Muffin, don't you think my dad would make a great doctor?
I'm not sure. He is a very good father, though.
The doctor tried on clothes in his suit shop, light bulb sizzling overhead, but it caught his attention. It occurred to him, maybe follow cancer with a light bulb. It turned out that he happened to have a brain cancer patient in his hands. The tumor has spread to the brain. Doctors couldn't find it accurately, the location of each cancer cell. Then there is no way to perform surgery. Patients don't have much time left. I didn't expect this little light bulb inspired Sean. He proposed that before the surgery, giving menancial light-sensitive drugs so the cancer cells are exposed to fluorescent light. Would turn pink? It can't be precisely removed. I didn't expect. Faced with this only solution that can't save yourself, the man refuses the surgery. It turns out that surgery is very risky. Paralysis on the right side of the body, and he has only one rebellious daughter. He has been taking care of himself all this time. Besides, he couldn't accept lying in bed for the rest of his life. Linger. In desperation, doctors can only find the man's daughter. Hopefully he can't convince the man to agree to the surgery. Doctors talk a lot to women, let him understand how difficult it is for his father. It made the woman choke up. He settled it guiltily beside his father. The father and daughter have not been as close as they are now for a long time, but the results were astonishing.
Told me about the tumor. It's my support now, which means supporting his decision.
Unexpectedly, that night, the man had a seizure. Life is on the line. The doctors had to put him into a coma with drugs first. As the tumor grows, his seizures and brain herniation are only getting worse. Without surgery, he will never wake up. Now the only medical decision-making power is in the hands of the daughter. But the daughter is worried that if she agrees to the surgery, the father was paralyzed. He will hate himself for the rest of his life. Sean finally couldn't take it anymore.
Doesn't matter if your father hates you. What matters is saving your dad's life. Your watch is a very nice shade of orange.
The daughter finally agreed to the surgery, but the miracle didn't happen. Although the surgery successfully removed the tumor, but the man is still paralyzed. Looking at the silent father, the daughter blamed herself and wanted to leave. The father spoke.
That decision took a lot of strength. Good thing my daughter is so tough.
The doctor stormed the hospital pharmacy in anger, smashing bottles of priceless drugs on shelves.
Expired! Expired! They're all useless!
It turned out that just now,